My most recent book is the second book in the Monkey Magic series called Monkey Magic: The Great Wall Mystery, and it's Romy Alexander's second adventure. This one takes her, you can probably guess where, to China, where she encounters a strange gathering on the Great Wall of China, hundreds and hundreds of capuchin monkeys, and the reason that it's strange is because they don't have capuchin monkeys in China. So that sets off a series of mysteries and questions about how did these monkeys from South America come to be on the Great Wall of China. It follows on from the first book of the series, which has been published around the world, including in India recently, which is why it has a different cover, where Romy goes to the jungles of Borneo, where she also is interested in another strange phenomenon, which is the phenomenon of orangutans all flocking to the coast where they don't live unless they surf, but most orangutans don't surf. So she's trying to work out why is it that these orangutans are leaving the rainforest. And through monkey magic, she is able to communicate with apes and monkeys, and that's how she starts to unfold the mysteries. And these books are the first two in a series which I'm planning to write of 5. The third book is coming out next year. It's called Monkey Magic: The Ghostly Thieves of New York, which is, I'm sure you can guess where that one is set. The main character is called Romy, and her name is I've got 2 daughters. One is called Rosie and one is called Amy, and I couldn't call the lead character Rosie or Amy, so I had to chop the name in half to get Romy. So that was the one way of keeping my daughters happy. As far as the other characters, most characters in books are based on people you've met, you know, or fictional characters you're aware of from watching television, movies. So I just take little bits of people. There's one character, for instance, in this book who's based on parts of him are based on a guy who was working in a hotel when I was on holiday in Borneo, and he would after everything he said he would laugh, whatever he said, even if he delivered terrible news he would laugh. And at one point he told us that our day trip had been cancelled and we wouldn't get all of our money back, and he laughed. So I thought, that's a strange trait. So like a lot of authors, I'll write down little strange quirky things that people say and do, and bring those into my novels. I think the whole series will be as much about her sort of growing up and coming to terms with no longer being a young child as much as anything else in the series. I went on a visit to Borneo with my family on a holiday to try and to see the wildlife, really, and to see what was left of the wildlife, because it's very sad what's happening in Borneo is that a lot of the rainforest is being cut down to produce so that plantations can grow palm oil. So in order to bring the world cheap palm oil, the world is losing much of its natural habitat, including the habitat of creatures such as the orangutan. I thought it would be quite a good idea to combine a story about an adventure story for kids with something that's going on in real life, so to teach them, or for those that don't know about it, that they can find out some of the challenges that face the planet at the moment. In fact, the actual genesis of the story was my daughter telling me was my daughter in the rainforest asking me, Dad, can you tell us a story? We're very scared because it was a very noisy rainforest, and we were in a sort of rickety hut at night. So I made up a story, a very brief story, and the next morning I wrote it down, and I thought, whoa, maybe I could turn that into the story about conservation, and I did, and that's how the story was created. So if my daughters hadn't asked me to tell them a story, then we wouldn't be talking about this book now. Yes, the whole series is very much about the way the planet is moving very much out of balance because of what man is doing to it. In a very short space of time, the planet has really gone quickly out of kilter, and it's going to be a massive challenge for the next generation to face, the mess that my generation and previous generations have created. So I think it's very important that children know what the situation is and face the reality, and so that they're best equipped to do something about it. The first book is quite a young book. My daughters were very young when I wrote this, and I wrote it for them. So it's more for sort of 7 to 10-year-olds. I'd say the next book is more 8 to 11, and then the next book is maybe 9 to 12. And I think the last book is probably going to be sort of 10 to 13, 10 to 12 sort of range. I've been a writer all my life as a journalist, and I've always wanted to write novels, and I hadn't really thought about writing children's novels. I was waiting for the inspiration to come to write an adult novel, and then I had children, and then that reawakens that whole part of your life that you put on hold while you go through your 20s and 30s. And I read a few books with my children, and I thought, wow, and it's just a penny dropped. I have to say it was Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter book I read, and I thought, wow, it was like an epiphany. I thought, this is what I want to do. I just realised there and then that this is what I want to do, at least as a passion. I'm very passionate about journalism as well, and I'm lucky that I've got two passions.